What's up guys, back again on CS2 today. Last video we were able to show a black and white inventory on CS2. Today I'm going to go ahead and show you a green inventory. In the last video I was doing inspecting all in the home screen, so this video I thought actually going in game and showing you what the skin looks like in game would be a better idea. I had to go with green because you probably do have the most options. So again, I'm going to give you a cheaper, more expensive options for your green inventory on CS2. So again, I want to start off with knife and glove combos. So let's hop into an inspect server and start with the green inventory. So for knives this time around, they're going to be a little bit different. The finishes come on pretty much every knife, so I'm just going to run through a couple of my favorites. The first one being the gut knife Boreal Forest, coming in at around $100 in minimal wear. The second one being the skeleton knife Forest DD pack, coming in at around $300. The third one being the Huntsman knife Gamma Doppler Phase 2, coming in at around $600. The final one and the most expensive one is the Falchion knife Emerald, coming in at around $1,500. Like I said, all of these finishes come in pretty much every knife, so you do have a lot of options here, but these are some that I just picked out and are reasonably priced. They're not the butterfly emerald that's like $15,000, but I thought these are pretty good options even if you are a high roller. So for gloves, again, you're going to have a few options. The first one being the Broken Fang gloves in Jade. They're going to run you around $100 in field tested. The Driving Gloves Racing Green, which are actually the cheapest gloves in the game, are only $75 in minimal wear. The Moto Gloves Finish Line, which will run you around $150 to $200 in field tested, depending on float. The Moto Gloves Turtle, which will run you around $150 to $175 in field tested. Then finally, your most expensive gloves, the Sports Glove Hedge Mazes, which will run you around $2,000 to $2,500 in field tested, depending on float. So for Glocks, you really don't have a great cheap option. The best option is going to be your Glock Groundwater. It's going to run you about $5 to $7 in souvenir field tested. I lied. I thought the Nuclear Garden was more expensive, but the Nuclear Garden in minimal wear is going to run you around $9. Then the Glock Emerald in field test is going to run you about $200. So for CT side, you're going to have a couple options as well. The first one being the Flashback, going to run you around 50 cents in minimal wear. The second one being the Peregrine, which is going to run you around $10 in minimal wear. The third one being the Monster Mashup, that's going to run you around $15 to $20 in minimal wear. The last one being the Overgrowth, which is going to run you around $20 to $25 in minimal wear. Not that many cheap options for the Desert Eagle, but your best bet is going to get something like the Print Stream and Battle Scarred, which will run you around $20 to $25, and then do a green sticker craft on it. Your best bet, if you have the budget for it, is going to be the Emerald Jorgenmunder. That's going to run you around $250 in minimal wear. Onto the Tech 9, you're going to have a couple different options. The first one being the Tech 9 Ossified and Factory New will run you about $1.50. The second one being the Bamboo Forest, which will run you about $3 in minimal wear. The Bamboozle, that'll run you around $1 in Factory New. And finally, the Nuclear Threat, which will run you about $25 to $30 in field tested. Onto the P2000, you got the P2000 Turf, which will run you around $1 in Factory New. And then the Pulse, that will run you around $2 in minimal wear. Next up is the P250. You got the Ironclad, that'll run you around 10 cents in minimal wear. And then the See You Later, which will run you around $5 in minimal wear. And then finally, the Nuclear Threat, which will run you around $15 to $20 in field tested. For the dualies, you have about 5 options here. The first one being the dualies Retribution, which will run you around $5 in Factory New. The Briars, which will run you around $1.75 in souvenir factory new. The Switchboard, which will run you around $2 to $3 in factory new. The Cobra Strikes, which will run you around $50 in field tested. And then finally the Emeralds, which will run you around $30 to $35 in factory new. Next up, we got the 5.7. So the first one up is the 5.7 Jungle, which is around $5 in minimal wear. Then you got the 5.7 Hotshot, which will run you around $2 to $3 in minimal wear. Then finally, you have the Neon Kimono, which will run you around $250 to $300 in factory new. Next up is the CZ Auto. You can get the Eco for around $3 in minimal wear. The Emerald for around $25 in factory new. And then the Emerald Quartz for around $90 to $100 in factory new. Then finally, our last pistol, the R8 Revolver. There's only really one skin you can get for it, and that's going to be the R8 Survivalist. It's going to run you around 50 to 75 cents in factory new. And then next, we're on to the mid-tier weapons. First up for SMGs is the MAC-10. You only really have one option, and that's going to be the MAC-10 Nuclear Garden. It'll run you around $6 to $8 in minimal wear, and it's really your best bet. There's no real better option. For the MP9, you have a few different options. The first one being the Deadly Poison. It's only going to run you a couple cents, like 25 cents in minimal wear. Your second option is going to be the MP9 BioLeak. It'll run you around 10 to 15 cents in minimal wear. And then finally, you have the Hydra, which is going to run you around $4 to $4.50 in field tested. Next up is the UMP45. You got a couple options here. The first one being the Riot. It'll run you around 20 to 30 cents in minimal wear. Next option is the Delusion, which will run you around 75 cents to $1 in minimal wear. Then finally, you have the UMP Plastique. This will run you around $1 in minimal wear. On to the MP7. You have the MP7 Motherboard, which will run you around 10 to 20 cents in minimal wear. Next up, we have the MP7 Tall Grass, which will run you around $2.50 in minimal wear. The Power Core, which will run you $1.50 in minimal wear. And then finally, the Empire, which will run you around $3.50 to $4 in factory new. On to the PP Bison, you got the PP Bison Fuel Rod, which will run you around $1.50 to $1.75 in minimal wear. The Jungle Slipstream, which will run you around 20 to 25 cents in minimal wear. The Anolis, or Anolis, I'm not sure how you say it, but this one will only run you 3 to 4 cents in souvenir factory new. And then finally, the Chemical Green, which will run you around $1.50 to $2 in minimal wear. On to the P90, you got the P90 Verdant Growth. That'll run you around $1.50 in minimal wear. The Grim, which will run you around 15 cents in minimal wear. The Virus, which will run you around $2.50 in minimal wear. And then finally, the Emerald Dragon, which will run you around $100 in minimal wear. Lastly, for the mid-tier SMGs is the MP5. This is the Bamboo Garden, which will run you around $3 in factory new. And then finally, the Phosphor, which is around $2.50 in field tested. On to the heavies. There's only one really good option for the Mag 7, but I threw this one in here because the other one is ridiculously priced. this is going to be the Mag 7 Monster Call, which will be around $1.50 in factory new. So your other option is going to be the Mag 7 Counter Terrace. It is around $100 in factory new. That's why I threw the other one in there, because $100 for a Mag 7 skin is a little outrageous. Next up is the Nova. You have two really great options for the Nova. The first one being the Toy Soldier. It'll run you around $1.20, $1.25 in minimal wear. Your other option's gonna be the Green Apple, which will run you around $9 to $10 in minimal wear. For the XM, you got a couple options. Again, the first one being the Jungle. It'll run you around $1.50 in field tested. You got the Banana Leaf. That'll cost you around $20 in battle scarred, all the way up to factory new. Finally, you have the Elegant Vines, which will run you around $1.50 in souvenir minimal wear. For the sawed off, you have a couple options as well. The first one being the Jungle Thicket, which will run you around $2 in minimal wear. Next one is the Morris. This will run you around 8 to 9 cents in minimal wear. The Xander, which will run you around 15 to 20 cents in minimal wear. The Limelight, which will run you around 50 to 60 cents in minimal wear. And then finally, the First Class, which will run you around $30 in factory new. On to the M249, you got the Aztec, which will run you around 40 to 50 cents in field tested. The Gator Mesh, which will run you around 10 cents in factory new. The Emerald Poison Dart, which will run you around $3.50 in factory new. And then finally the Jungle, which will run you around $1.50 to $2 in minimal wear. Last heavy, we got the Negev. There's no real great options for the Negev, but this is the best one that will do. And that is going to run you around $1.50 in minimal wear. Next up is the assault rifles, the first one being the Galil. Have a couple options here. The first one being the Eco. It's going to run you around $25 to $30 in minimal wear. And then you got the Cerberus, which will run you around $15 to $20 in field tested. Next up is the FAMAS. You have a couple options here. The first one being the Colony. It'll run you around 5 to 10 cents in factory new. Then you got the Meow 36, which will run you around 30 cents in factory new. Next up is the SG. First option is going to be the Dragon Tech, which will run you around $1.75 in factory new. Then you got the Lush Ruins that costs around 20 to 30 cents in souvenir factory new. Finally, you got the Gator Mesh, which will run you around $3 in souvenir factory new. Onto the AUG, you got the AUG Chameleon. This will run you around $3 in minimal wear. And finally, the Carved Jade, which will run you around $30, $25 to $30 in factory new. Onto the M4A1S, you got the Boreal Forest, which will run you around $3 to $4 in factory new. And then the M4Saurus, which is around $3 to $4 in factory new. Onto the AK, we got the Jungle Spray, which costs around $15 to $20 in minimal wear. The Green Laminate, which is around $10 to $12 in minimal wear. The Hydroponic, which is around $800 in field tested. The Fire Serpent, which is also around $800 in field tested. And finally, the Wild Lotus, which is a staggering $6,500, give or take, in field tested. I wanted to mention that there are no really good green M4A4 skins, so pick something like the Mainframe maybe and do some green sticker crafts on it. is probably going to be your best bet if you're an M4A4 user. On to the snipers, the first one being the G3SG1. Two options here, the first one being the Dream Glade. It's going to run you around $1, $1.10 in factory new. And the Green Apple, which costs around 10 to 15 cents in factory new. Next up is the Scar. First option is the Power Core will run you around 40 cents in minimal wear. The Outbreak is around 40 to 50 cents in factory new. And finally, the Emerald, which is around $40 to $45 in factory new. On to the Scout. The first one is going to be the Spring Twilly. This one will cost you around $1.40 in factory new. Then we got the Acid Fade, which will cost around $2 in factory new. We got the Necropolis, which is around $1 in factory new. And then finally the Sea Calico, which will cost you around $260 to $270 in factory new. Last but certainly not least is the op. First option we have is the Pit Viper. This is going to run you around 75 cents to $1 in minimal wear. Fun fact, this was the first skin I ever bought back in 2014, and I got it for 3 cents. Then we got the Op Atheris. This is around $12 in factory new. And finally, we have the Containment Breach, which is around $75 in field tested. So those are pretty much all the green skins in the game, so you can mix and match with your budget. Let me know if you like the new format. I talked a lot less this time, just went through all the skins that fit the green theme and showed them in game. I think I definitely missed a couple, and there are a couple that I left out on purpose, but leave some comments down below. What are some green skins that I missed, or if you're gonna go ahead and build out a green themed inventory. Thanks so much guys for checking out the video, and I will see you in the next one. Also, let me know if there's another theme that you'd like me to build an inventory around. Thanks so much. I'll see you in the next one.